Hi, Danica. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. I hear that you're in Indianapolis today. What brings you out there?
Oh, well, it's the Indy 500 this weekend. So,
Just that little tiny event. No, it's
yeah,
fantastic to see your continued passion for all that. But I understand that you're doing some work with Good Foods. It looks like a nice spread next to you.
thanks. Yeah. Well, what better way to enjoy the Indy 500 than with a plethora of snacks and dips to go with it, which is actually how I experienced it when I was a kid. I've told the story so many times because people asked me growing, when I first got into IndyCar, what my history was like of racing, and did I watch the Indy 500? And of course I said yes, and that normally the table would be filled with like chips and dip, and then we'd watch the Indy 500. So nothing goes better with the Indy 500 and with summertime and traveling and being outdoors than dips and snacks, and Good Foods is honestly like my whole life is dedicated towards helping people
Mhm.
become more aware and create wellness within themselves. So whether it's mindfulness or something physical through working out, or whether it's the food that you eat, Good Foods fits into that. Their ingredients are really, really clean, really simple. They have plant-based dips too. So I don't partner with anybody that doesn't fit the brand of the way that I live my life. And then I just like to share it with people. So Good Foods is incredible. You can get it at tons of grocery stores or on goodfoods.com.
Do you have a top two or three when it comes to Good Foods products?
Yes.
Please tell me.
And there are many, but I'd have to say my favorite is the buffalo dip. It's incredible. And then I'd have to say probably the chunky guac is next, or the regular guac, classic. Really just love guacamole
Sure.
and like most people. And then I'd say the queso dip. Their queso dip is plant-based and it's incredible.
Well, speaking to you and your success, I love your backstory. You worked so hard to get to where you are today. And I think that the majority of people don't realize that there's so much more to you than the racing. By that, I mean,
Mm.
you're always working on something. Whether or not we see it publicly, you're always working on something. When you early on knew that you wanted to be a successful racer, did you know, hey, I'm going to have to do media and interviews and brand tie-ins and all that? Or was that something you learned later?
No, I learned that later. I had this sort of vision or belief deep within me that it was going to work out, and that I really just like, it was simple words like it'll be a big deal. Like I just knew that if I got the opportunity and I could make it, like it would be cool and it would be a big deal. And I had no idea what that meant, other than that concept. And so, of course, that does include things like interviews, but also, and so opportunities. Like I talk to amazing, fascinating people. I get to go crazy, cool places. I get to do fun things. I get reservations at restaurants when I want to eat there. There's a lot of perks that come along with it. So, some of the other things that come along with it, safety and criticism and things like that, of course, but so much good. And I'm happy to, I just focus on the good, really.
A lot of people kind of peak in high school. You peaked after high school age, to say the least, and you're so young to the point that I get the vibe that there's still so much that you want to do, so many projects and industries you haven't
Yeah.
tried yet. Am I incorrect
True.
about that?
No, that's great. I thanks for sharing that perspective or intuition you have. Some of it is based on, things that are going on. Like I have two different wines, Somnium and Danica Rose. I launched a candle company called Voyant this year. I have a podcast. I do speaking
Mhm.
engagements. I'm doing 7 different races this year across the 3 top platforms of IndyCar, NASCAR, and Formula One. So I do have a lot of things going on, but it's been interesting to hear how many people over time have told me that, they can feel that there's something else big that I'm going to do, that there's more coming. And, I got to say, I'm not sure exactly what that thing is yet, but I have that feeling too. And so, I think that at the core of it, though, it'll probably have to do with wellness and awareness. And so, whether it's telling people what makes them more healthy, or through the podcast sharing about psychology and perspectives on the universe and the nature of our reality, or whether it's more recently sharing about having breast implants removed and how sick they were making me, and creating awareness around something like that. There have been some really positive things, of course, that have come since I retired a few years back. And I'm gonna keep going with it.
But being a star athlete, there's no CBD line. I think you're the
There
only
is, yeah, Beam. Yeah, Beam is an incredible CBD company.
Yeah.
That you're reminding me, actually, I need to ask for some more stuff today. I'm at my parents' house in Indianapolis, and I wanted some Beam Dream last night, which is a great product. And I was like, oh, there wasn't any. So you reminded me, I need to get some.
Well, down to the last two questions here. I don't know what music you're into. What is your go-to these days? Or what are some of your go-tos when you're being well in the gym, when you're relaxing at home, etc.?
Okay. Well, in the gym, I will listen to, like, what are some stations I'll put on? I usually do use Pandora. Sometimes I use Spotify too. Like, if I want to make a playlist, I use Spotify. So I'll start sort of putting them into a list. Like Morgan Wallen radio or Blake Shelton radio, or then I might listen to Cardi B radio, or like Drake or Jay-Z or something like that, old school rap. But then most of the time I listen to Amos Lee, Gregory Alan Isaacoff, Nako, East Forest, like a yoga radio. So I usually listen to much more chill music, or like Cam radio or Miranda Lambert, like, some country. So yeah, I'm much more on the chill side of things, I would say.
Sounds like a good song is a good song to you, no matter the genre or the artist. Cool.
Right.
And my last question, do you have a TV recommendation you could pass on? Because my wife and I, we start a new show, finish it in 4 days, and we go, what's next? But hey,
you're a
Danica
binger.
Patrick, you got taste.
A great show. I'm currently watching Westworld. I'm 2 seasons in. It's deep, it's interesting, it takes a bit of attention, but I'd say like a really fun one that I watched a couple of years ago was The Good Place. Did you ever watch that?
Oh, Kristen Bell.
Did you watch it?
Excellent show.
That's a great one. I would love to recommend that for people. But man, what else? I mean, you're tapping me. I'm not the best at having like all kinds of series to watch. So those are my you've already tapped into mine. So
maybe not the best with new
Westworld
series, but the best with food recommendations, the best with too many projects going on, whatever it is. Looking forward to what's to come from you, Danica. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Paltrocast.